a long drawn out process.
Where it was at the Capitol and they had a
Like that red one.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
No, I've always had down there, they had helicopter machine guns.
But I was on work that day, I came home and I came back. I got the phone. What I did not do was I did not take the phone number.
Before stuff.
I'm telling you.
Hold up the phone. And then it'd be the corner.
Was it the truck? Was it the Strand or what?
No, it was a plan.
No, I'm saying.
No, a plan.
And then we're.
Are you there?
Oh, Lord, I love it when you.
We're taking.
Gene, what do you know, buddy?
I don't know very much.
Is that the same coffee I got in blue?
This is February.
Oh, it's February.
You gotta do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I go on my own.
No, we're not that old, Dean. No, really, no. I just turned 49.
Don't let him kid you, Dean.
It's my life, I don't know.
When I got off the boat with Noah, he was right behind me.
You ain't right, John.
I'll sit next to you.
Oh, let me scoot over a minute. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to sit on your lap. Oh, boy. I don't know about all that.
Would you like Sam?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. That's what I wanted to hear out of you. Shall we pray? No.
Yes, we should. I have. Do you want to go real quick? It can be.
Where are you going?
3 weeks.
I got my drink. Yeah.
Call the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't think it was written that way, John. Roll call, John?
Here.
Beverly? Here. Karen? Here. Over here. Before we get started, we need to appoint somebody to take notes. Beverly, would you like to take notes?
The lamps will
One
rot.
last time.
The lamps will rot. You're Friday writing the script.
I do know. I do that. In a long time. Speakers. Fire department is going to be running late. And so is the sheriff's department. Like maybe a little like two. Senior services. Come on up. Nadine, that does not mean that you
Well,
speak everyone else.
Uh-oh. Since there aren't other speakers here tonight, I'll talk a little longer. No. You got a copy tonight of the latest newsletter, just came out. This is February's. Usually I'm not able to bring you the next month, I usually have to bring you this month, but today you got the one out here for next month. So, notice please, on the very back page, top left corner, there's a brown box, and it says Grand Junction. That meal is now free to our seniors. So let your seniors know that. Normally those community luncheons cost $3, which is a reduced rate from the $5 or $6 it costs, but because of the folks here in this township that are usually here, they're not here tonight, they're paying the difference for whoever comes. So tell your neighbors, a few of you are old enough to come too. Yes, come and enjoy that. And when you see those folks, tell them thank you. It's very nice of them to do that. Then I have, again, I think Gary Gruss mentioned last month that I was going to continue the contest we've had of who invites most of the seniors, your neighbors or your relatives or people in the township, to participate in any of these activities. And he brought 2 prizes last time, and he claims he distributed them.
That's correct, sir.
Is that true, folks?
That's true.
Okay.
I drank from it.
Okay, good. So, who here tonight invited, mentioned, etc., senior service to somebody? Nobody? Not once? John? 2 people? All right, anybody else more? Anybody say 3? 3? 3? 3?
You want me to lie to you?
I have no way of checking. You could talk to a lot of people there as they come into your place. Well, John, I didn't buy this for a board member, but since you're claiming...
You said anybody.
Huh?
You said anybody.
Oh, yes.
And I'm somebody.
You are. Package of cards, producers, letter.
All my wife is gonna love you.
Yeah. I work with them. And they're dated in 2017.
Oh, they are dated 2017.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions about senior services? Yes.
Did you say that that's gonna be a free luncheon now?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
I am gonna spread the word.
Please do.
I will.
Please do.
Yeah, I go there every chance I get.
Okay. Good. I think
I will
it's
put
very
that on the
generous of
radio
these
for
folks,
you.
and,
Dean, I'll put that on the radio for you.
please do.
You betcha.
And really, thank the folks when you see them, because that was very nice of them. Thank you, folks.
Now, who are the folks?
Oh, who are they?
Laura Lee.
Laura Lee,
Laura Lee Adams.
yes, thank you.
Oh,
They've been sitting over here for several meetings.
organic, yeah,
She brought a lot of turkeys for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving distribution,
good,
so.
caring farm.
That's fine, that's good. Thanks.
We're gonna go back to the fire department.
There he is. Yeah.
Sorry about being late.
Yeah, we thought about that.
Oh, okay, I'll do that, thank you, kind sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So for December, we had a total of 6 calls. 4 were structure fires, 2 were assist to Bangor, 1 assist to Lee, and 1 assist to Bloomingdale. We had 2 gas leaks, one which was unfounded, and one was, we discovered a leak on a regulator down just south of the bridge in Breedville on the east side of the road. Pretty good leak. They came out and repaired it. And that was taken care of, and we had 18 medical calls. So, I'll try to make this quick. There's a little bit of information here, but for 2019, we had a total of 302 calls. The breakdown of the calls is, call percentage for fire department related calls was 25.8 and 75.2 for medical calls. There were a total of 75 fire department calls. 24 were structure fires. 1 call was within Columbia Township, which represented a 4.16% of the calls of the structure fires total. We were dispatched at 4:08 a.m. When we arrived, the home was completely in flames and partially collapsed. The home and all belongings were total loss. There were no injuries to humans or pets. Everyone got out safe. We responded to 10 structure fires, assist to Bangor, which was 41%, which was a decrease of 16, almost 17% from 2018, when they had 12. We responded to Bloomingdale for 1, which was 4% of the total, a decrease of 66%, which was 3 from 2018. Lee had 8 structure fire assists, which were 33%, which was down 15% from 18. They had 16. Shays had 4 assists for 16%, which was a 20% decrease from 15. So as you're seeing, everybody's call volume for structure fires dropped. And that's just represented across, everything's being built safer. Even when we do have structure fires now, a lot of times, because of better drywall and, you know, better furnishings in the home, they don't catch fire quite as easy. Bedding materials.
Many that don't have fire.
Yes, unfortunately we do. We find more that don't have CO alarms, substantially more that don't have CO alarms compared to CO alarms.
Less fires is a good thing, Dave.
Oh, definitely, yeah, yep. Less people potentially getting injured, less people losing their belongings, definitely. The response times, FEMA looks for a response time of 6 minutes, which if you talk to the guys out of Chicago, which I have, they'll tell you it's unrealistic for them to even get 6 minutes a lot of times. But we had a response time for calls within Columbia of 8 minutes and 48 seconds, which is pretty close to what FEMA requests. For all the calls total, which include all the out-of-township calls where we're running to, you know, our surrounding, our neighbors, is 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Bangor assists were 11 minutes, 48 seconds. Bloomingdale's was 17 minutes. Lee's was 16 minutes, 42 seconds. And Shays was 12 minutes and 48 seconds. The next page is just I like pie, so made a pie graph of, the call breakdown for fires. The next page back is a call breakdown for all of our calls total. And then the last page, we had 227 calls to service for medical assistance. That's either Columbia Rescue or the part-time people during the day and after-hours calls. There was 227 total. The 103 total calls in 2018 versus 2019, we had a 193% increase due to the medical calls we ran. The extra
Oh,
medical.
you got 930.
Well, wait, hang on. The 81 fire department calls in 18
Oh,
created a 7.4 decrease to last year, to 2019. But it's a little deceiving because we had 22 actual medical calls in 2018, which brings a 931% increase to 2019 due to the medical rescue being started. That shows the demand for medical in this township.
I don't question that people need medical services, but I don't see that it would have changed just because we're responding to them. People, when they need an emergency, they still are going to call.
Well, definitely. No, I'm just saying this is what we did, not what Pride Care did. This is the calls we ran from 18 versus 2019. So if
In addition to Pride Care, so instead
No,
of
I'm not even
Pride
talking
Care,
about Pride Care. They're their own, they have their own numbers and everything. This is just 22 medical calls that they called us for assistance with.
Oh, that,
Yes.
like, Pride Care would call you guys.
Yes, that we were dispatched to, unrelated to the fire calls.
Okay, and then the 227, same thing. That's the, Pride Care, whatever calling.
No, that was the difference between what we were dispatched for in 2018 because we didn't have the medical up and running yet.
Didn't have the medical, that's.
And then Columbia Rescue came about again, and then we ran 227 calls. So we're running every call that the ambulance service runs as well. And like tonight,
Okay, I see.
this little fellow whacked himself on the head, had a laceration about that long, to the back of a 3-year-old's head. We got there a good, I'd say anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes before the ambulance. Yeah, that's what we believe happened. But we had him packaged, wrapped up, bandaged, and ready to go. We just carried him out to the ambulance when they got there, and they got him off to the hospital. So that's what the difference we wanted to make. We wanted to get there, have our patients in this township cared for before the ambulance gets there, because no matter what service we have, they're not going to get there within 4 or 5 minutes. It's just, it can't happen. Where they station and staff, they can't get here that fast. If we were to get a couple more townships on board, I'm being told that they would most likely station something either in or very close to Columbia Township. Questions? Questions?
Comment. If you know, Dave, on the structure fires, is there a relationship, is there a mean, from the cause of the fire?
I don't know any of the causes of anybody else's structures. Ours was caused by a wood stove.
Wood stove?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was trying to see if there was a relationship.
Unfortunately, I'll get that information next year, I guess. That'd be nice information to have, actually. Because, cooking appliances is number 1, generally.
Okay.
National average, cooking appliances number 1, I believe candles are number 2, and after that, I think it's heating appliances. Anybody else?
I'll make a comment. Well, I gotta wait for public comment. This is a reply to a comment that the fire chief had made.
Did you get a question for the fire chief in there?
Oh, I sure do. Okay, well, this is a response to the fire chief's lie that he wasn't getting his checks in time. And Lyons said that he didn't get an email. This is why the checks were late. The payroll summary read in his email from Dave, again, stuck in my outbox.
Mr. Clerk,
stuck in my outbox.
Mr. Clark, this is his comment on any of this.
I just asked you on the report.
Well,
Well,
the comments on what
he talked about. This was what he made on the last meeting,
I
and
asked
I'm making a
Mr.
report on his
If
last.
there was any questions that you had for the fire chief,
Then
in regards to
I'll
his
wait for a
report.
comment.
Wait for comment. Thank you. Jason?
Okey-dokey. Good evening, everyone. For the month of December 2019, I traveled 1,056 patrol miles. There were 208 property inspections completed, 1 assist to another agency, and 0 assist to the sheriff's department. I completed 3 liquor inspections and attended REP training and security awareness training. There was a total of 100 dispatched calls/units for December 2019. The total calls and units by department are such: 5 fire, 39 EMS, 53 police, 1 animal control, and 2 records. The police calls units are as follows: 4 stolen vehicles, 18 general assist, 2 abandoned hazard, 3 traffic crash, 4 alarm, 8 assault, 1 civil dispute, 2 larceny, 3 suspicious situation, 2 fraud, 2 CSC, 2 trespass, 1 traffic violation, and 1 hit and run. For the year of 2019, some of these I did a 3-year breakdown. Total dispatch calls and units for Columbia Township. In 2019, we had 1,565 calls. That is up from 2018, where it was 1,229, and up from 2017, where it was only 1,124. The total dispatch calls and units by department for 2019, my numbers are going to vary a little bit from the fire chiefs due to the fact that I don't clump the fire and the EMS together. They're completely separate, and mine is also units and total calls. So for fire, there were 116, EMS 502, police 841, wrecker 33, animal control 64, medical examiner 9. The total patrol mileage by myself for 2019 was 16,269.4 miles. That is up from 2018, where it was 16,250.3. There were 1,428 total property inspections completed. That is up from 2018, where there was 1,332. The total police calls, broken down, the incident types, police calls units, stolen vehicles 12, general assist 285, abandoned hazard 23, traffic crashes 71, alarm 49, assault 88, civil disputes 13, larcenies 32, suspicious situations 51, frauds 10, CSC 4, trespass 29, traffic violations 30, B&E 30, obstructing justice 31, health and safety 19, conservation 5, MDOP 12, harassing TX 4, ODBI 7, lost and found property 4, extortion 1, suicidal 2, disturbing the peace 2, weapons violation 1, retail fraud 5, missing persons 10, VCSA 5, and delinquent minors 7. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns?
Just on the B&Es, and a lot of that is taken as a B&E, but it might not be a B&E.
That's very true. That, yes, even though this is how calls come into dispatch,
Yeah.
and the outcome does not determine what it came into dispatch as. So if it
So
comes
it's
in
not
as a
actual.
B&E, yeah, if it comes in as a B&E, but it turns out that it was just a landlord-tenant dispute, it'll still be labeled as a B&E. So that doesn't necessarily mean that all 30 of those were actual valid B&Es.
And how many inspections did you say?
I had 1,400 and 400 something.
Isn't that fantastic, people?
Yeah,
Isn't
428.
that fantastic? God bless you, man. That's wonderful as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. The one comment I'd like to, well, I'm sorry, questions, go ahead.
I do have a question, Jason, that, John Deere that got received by some people, the stolen John Deere from 52nd.
Yes.
Did they get charged? I'm just wondering, when you have something that's stolen, what happens?
There has been several, the investigation is still currently ongoing. Several interviews have been conducted with certain individuals. Interviews still have to be made with others, and some people are not willing to come and speak with us, or they have to be located before we can actually submit the report to the prosecutor's office, and then it goes to the prosecutor's office, and he makes a determination on whether there will be charges pressed or not.
Oh, good, so they're still trying to do.
Yeah, so we just have to locate a few more individuals. We've got half of them down, and we have to locate a few more.
So then is crime generally up, because the report sounds like a lot bigger than the previous year?
There are more calls, but those aren't necessarily, I could do a side-by-side for all types of calls, but in general, the total calls was up, but that was, due to, I can't generally say it was just police calls.
Oh, okay.
It could include more medicals, more fires, more records,
Okay.
So if you want me to, I could go further into that or whatnot.
If crime's up or not.
Okay, I gotcha.
Is the crime guy out there?
There was one more question, oh, yes.
Now that winter is here, will you still be hiding in the tall grass along the
I was just there last week, yes, I will be.
Thank you.
I have a question too.
The only question I had, you already answered, if there was a way that the stats could show what the increase in the crime rate was, would it be these, was it assaults?
I can delve into it more if you wish, that's.
If you have time.
It's just, it's gonna take a few more hours to get all that written down and whatnot, so.
It's not a good idea.
Okay. Any more?
Okay. Officer Mahoney, if I'm out on a blight job and there's an old vehicle sitting in the yard and I'm asked to clean it up, can I get a paper, so I can get rid of this vehicle, or what do I do?
Are you looking for like a title?
Something that you can, get rid of the vehicle, you don't want it sticking around.
Well, if you wanna get rid of it and you wanna sell it or turn it over to a tow company, they're probably gonna request a title, so you're gonna have to go to the Secretary of State and try to obtain one. If it's not your car and you don't own it and you've made every effort possible to get the owner to remove it and they won't, and you own the property, you can contact the tow company, not at your expense, and they will come tow it and they will do all that for you.
They don't have the green sheet anymore?
It's not called a green sheet anymore, but there is a sheet there that has all of the specific information.
Thank you very much.
It's not green anymore, so they don't call it a green sheet.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our local complaint book, where.
That's what I was gonna bring up something in reference to that. I don't know if maybe your question's gonna.
No, go
Oh,
first,
okay.
and if I.
We are having a huge issue with that when people come in and file complaints. I've had this happen so many times. A lot of the addresses labeled on these complaints, they don't even exist in this township. And people aren't seeming to sign them, so I can't go into it any further. I don't know what they want. All I'm getting is a description of what they see, and in a township this size, that could be any house. So I'm asking that people please put as much information on there as possible, trying to get possible owner names. I know it's hard in sometimes, but if you can, owner names, actual address, possible description of the property. You can go right on the internet and do a parcel search, and you can bring up the owner's name and everything. And it's all free. It's just right on the Van Buren County website. And if you sign at the bottom, it doesn't go out to the people that I'm contacting. They don't know who you are. It's just so if I need it, I can contact you and get further information so you can give me a more general area of where it's located.
Jason, I think we need to update our form, because I filled out one, and what I saw on the bottom, it says, if you want to know what the resolution of this problem is, put your name and address. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll probably hear what the resolution is. I wasn't thinking, I didn't put anything on there.
Yeah, and that happens all the time.
So our
Nobody
form
wants to sign the bottom.
probably needs to say something
Yeah.
that you need to put your name, because it doesn't say that at
No,
all.
I agree, and they're just
Because
sitting in
if you want to
here,
hear
so,
back
yeah,
from us,
yeah. And that's all I'm requesting. I'm not gonna give your name out or anything like that. It's just,
and maybe they need to be reassured of that.
like I said, because a lot of the addresses and stuff on there, they don't even exist in this township. So it wouldn't be an issue for this township.
So are you saying it was your personal policy to not follow up if there's no name? I mean.
No, I don't know where to go, because the
Okay,
address doesn't
so
exist here.
let's say everything is perfect on it, but it's not signed.
I haven't had any perfect ones
Okay,
at all.
so that hasn't been the case. But would you pursue it then?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's not the issue. You just need to know
Yes,
the
because,
names.
you know, and I'm not
Information.
ranking on anybody or anything like that. It's just, I need information to proceed, and if I don't have that information, I can't proceed.
Right.
Well, if they take the address from the mailbox, isn't that the correct address? If the mailbox is right in front of the house, or?
The one, it's the right 5-digit, but it's not the right street.
Oh,
So
so
when
they
it
have
comes-
the wrong street.
Yeah, I can talk to you afterwards. I can talk to you afterwards if you want,
Yeah, sure,
because I think I know which one you're talking about.
okay.
Any other questions? Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Is the township following through with the complaints on the blights and making the people clean up their messes?
Yes, we've
Following
had
all the
several
way
people
through?
just clean up, several people in the process of cleaning up, and several residences are actually, I don't know the correct wording, but they're going back on taxes. So if I send a letter to somebody who has got 6 months left, they're not gonna do anything with it. So it's gonna be the townships here soon anyway, it'll be the township's problem to clean up.
The reason I asked is because I put in a blight complaint on a person and went over there, he moved out some cars, but he moved 5 more back in.
Yeah, but we talked about that last month where he's building a barn to put those vehicles in, so he's showing an effort.
I was just gonna suggest, maybe when you review the form, everybody has a cell phone, take a picture of the place.
Yeah.
That's an option.
But then what do you do with the picture?
Download it.
Print it off.
Well, yeah, then again, with a picture though, what are you gonna have a picture of? A picture of a house?
Or the address, yeah.
I mean,
No,
again, this is a very large township and I,
No, I understand. You
I'm gonna-
can't look for a needle in a haystack.
just as much information as possible, please.
Sure. Thank you, Jason.
What says out there?
Mr. Kerr, come on up.
Well, we finished the year off, with a special meeting on, 30th of December. We had to approve 14 contracts before the end of the year, so everybody would be working on the 1st of January. We did that. Basically, what I have here is a year in review, some of the highlights. The 4 goals that we had, 3 main goals was financial stability, facilities master plan, especially with the courts and the continuity of operations, and also economic development and veteran service department. The public defender's office was established, which was a collaboration between Allegan and Van Buren to save us quite a bit of funds. Veteran Services Committee was established. We received a grant of $67,000 for that, and we should be getting some more. Hopefully, if residents of the county see the way to pass that millage for the veterans, there'll be a little bit more in the coffers. Transit was reorganized and is now fully incorporated in the county. We have another thing that I think I talked about it once. Market Van Buren was established. It's a real active group that are trying to get businesses into the county, and we've got a lot of business people and professionals that working with Connexus, and it's a good thing. So stay tuned for that. Another big highlight was the ISD and the building the new center. The health department's doing over in Lawrence. That's going to be a great asset to the community. We finally restored installed the new roof in the courthouse. The biggest thing of the year, the historic courthouse murals were preserved, so they weren't painted over or covered up. That was the most people at any meeting I've ever seen. Financial condition, we're solid with 28.5 fund balance according to our auditor. And we do have a private carrier now for our medical insurance at the jail, which is saving quite a bit of funds, and there's someone there all the time with medicines and such. They don't have to run out to the pharmacy every time somebody needs some kind of drugs or anything. So we had our new organizational meeting, the first meeting of the month, and Mr. Godfrey was the chairman again, and Mike Chappell was the vice chair. So, questions?
The only question I got is on the village, and if we get the increase, Who determines where that money goes? Does the VA do that, or do you
No, I
guys
think
have
it's
some kind
more-
of?
Mostly the county money, so it'll be
Yeah,
determined in the county, won't be.
okay, okay, that sounds good to me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Any other reports, comments, or announcements?
Well, then, yes.
Road commissioners.
Oh, go ahead, Doug, sorry.
The road commission has, two big things going on right now. We hired a new, manager director. He begins, work February 3rd. He lives in the county on the, west side of Almena Township. Right now, he's, the, administrator for the village of Lawton, and he's been, administrator for a number of communities in Michigan, so he's got a lot of experience. His name is Dan Bishop. I'm sure he'll, be getting around so people can get to know him. He's very outgoing and energetic type of person. And the other thing is, in March, there will be a road millage renewal. This is a renewal. It's been, a millage that's been on the books since, I believe 1978. It's for 1 mil. And that is, that brings $2.6 million into the road commission, which is then distributed to each municipality, a portion to each municipality, and then the road commission gets a percentage. And so, there's an informational meeting. I see there's a flyer laying on the counter in the office, and I'll leave this one at the back of the room here. Informational meeting Thursday, January 30th at 6 p.m. and another one Thursday, February 27th at 6 p.m. to explain the renewal, the road millage renewal to anybody that's interested.
So no increases proposed?
No, this is a renewal. It's for, well, we say 1 mil, but because of the Headley, it's, I don't know, 9.6 something. So, that's the news from the road commission. Yes, sir.
Someone told me that Columbia Township has a lot of out-of-state owners and a lot of blueberry farms, and therefore we were paying you folks a sizable chunk of money, but we weren't getting an equal amount back in Columbia Township. Is that accurate or not accurate?
Every township has the same argument.
Well,
of the 2.6 mil, around 50, just over 50,000 comes back to Columbia Township. Same with Bloomingdale and Pine Grove. And then, of course, a lot of I think around 45% is distributed back to the municipalities, and around 55% stays in the road commission, and that's part of what we use to rebuild the county roads.
but my point is, you're getting more out of the township that pays more. You may not be giving that equal amount back.
Well, there's a formula that has been used since 1978 to decide how much each township gets. But I understand what you're saying, but we're also doing road work in your township, so you're getting it back in the form of road work.
Okay.
Just as every other township.
Right.
Antwerp Township is a big arguer of that, and when we figured out what the work that we've done in Antwerp Township compared to what they pay, his argument doesn't hold water, but,
Doug, is there a breakdown of that somewhere? Of that formula, how much we paid in, how much you guys have sent back, and then how much you spent on work here?
I'm sure they can get it for you at the office over there, yeah, because we broke it down for Antwerp Township. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And
People would be interested in seeing, it might be a good idea to have that information here, so that people have the information,
Right.
because
The question's asked.
something we need to know.
This money also is a big bargaining chip for us to, get, federal aid funds and so on, you know, matching aid and so on like that. So this is worth a lot more than the 2.6 that we collect in millage because of the power that, you know, the money we can use for grants, to match grants and so on.
Your former director, who I'm not disappointed is not being here anymore, he told us that we were so out here in the rural area that we didn't have enough traffic on our roads, and therefore they took care of the roads better closer to metropolitan areas. Now, I see that when I drive towards South Haven, I get to the line between Columbia Township and Geneva, all the roads get pretty nice. So it doesn't sound to me like it's fairly distributed, if it's just distributed on our population.
It's based on miles of roads, population,
And not income, say.
I don't know if income is a factor or not.
Well, it's a question. I hope you give that to the board and they.
But,
the population part is, that needs to be gone, because people cut through our township all the time and go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter how many people live here,
right.
you got roads, someone's gonna drive on them.
Absolutely.
I'll get that formula. I mean, I've heard it, I've been told it, but I don't,
Yeah.
right here, right now, but I can get that formula and get it back to you.
I would be interested in seeing that and having it posted here, just for information for the people to see.
Okay.
Thank you, Jack.
Yes, sir.
How come the township won't let you guys widen Silver Lake Road?
Yeah, that's a local road that's up to the township, whether we do any major work.
Well, isn't the road commission in charge of how wide the road should be to be safe? You guys just make a 10-foot road, or you make a 20-foot road? How does that work?
When we rebuild a road, we build it to certain standards.
What's the standard? 10 foot?
Usually 66 foot.
66 foot, but that road ain't 13.
I don't mean a 66 foot driving surface.
Right away.
60 foot.
What's the safe width of a road that you guys would have the formula for that? What's the shallowest road that you guys are allowed to build?
Well, I don't think we build anything under 22 driving surface. I think 22, 24 is standard.
That's if you built a new road.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about an existing road.
Right.
Probably is
Right.
there before there was room.
But you might not have the right of way to work a full road in there.
Isn't that the natural beauty road?
No, that's.
I don't know.
No, that's Silver Lake Road. I want to live there now.
Are you talking about going around Silver Lake?
Around Silver Lake, yeah.
Thank you, Doug. Moving forward. Any correspondence or announcements?
That's wider than
I
Silver
gave
Lake
the
Road.
board a letter of recommendation,
Road
which
wider than Silver Lake Road.
handled now or later. That's fine.
I did receive a news release from YCMS. It's hanging up back there if anybody's interested in it. They did a really nice write-up on adding us to their services. If anybody's interested in that, check back in. So I had, I have anything else at my notes?
Yep.
Are you gonna announce clerk? Yeah, that's first.
I also received a resignation letter from our clerk. We'll be enforcing that as well this evening. Is there anything else, guys? Board information items. Going forward, supervisor's report, then a busy month as far as with the attorney, trying to get finalization on some of the litigation. Also been meeting with some electricians, trying to get some lighting outside, updated on the building. And that's been pretty quiet for me. All I have, we don't have a clerk's report tonight. Treasurer's report.
Okay, bank balances and check register reports are part of the consent agenda. The transfer related to the ambulance tax fund reconciliation that was discussed in November was actually accomplished in December, so it's now reflected on those reports. Since we last met, we did have a special meeting for fiscal year 2021 budget. We were requested to turn in suggestions to Supervisor Norton by the 18th, which I did send you the whole packet back. Couple things we may be asking for, additional funding for new accounting tax software, ES&A. It's around $32,000, I believe, going from the last quote. Blight cleanup, I think maybe we're gonna ask for some more funding, and from that, I think the intent is to actually help assist with cleanup. That was more something you brought up.
Well, my thought is to possibly assist, or sometimes people, they abandon a property, the blight's there, and it's just gonna stay there unless it gets removed, and it takes money to do that.
Right. So we may have funds that we can use. The next budget meeting is scheduled for February 3rd, which is a Monday at 10 a.m. We did talk last time a little bit about if there was a question of the fire department paying for the medical calls, and we did get a determination on that. That is fine to do from the fire department fund. Also, you might start getting things in your mail regarding the 2020 census, and we want to encourage people to actually fill that out. It does help us to have our numbers up, so if people do respond, that's good. The dates that I saw, I'm not positive these are right, online, March, and personal visits maybe in May if you don't take advantage of filling it out yourself. So just watch for that and please participate in that. On the topic of my own resignation and the vacancy that created, most that have been here a while would agree that I've been generous with my time here over the past 3+ years. But as I forewarned back in November, I could no longer maintain that schedule. Consequently, tax receipts would already be behind, woefully behind, if not for my deputy columns assistance, and I do want to thank you, Rhonda, back there for that help. Just as I took my role as treasurer personally, I also take the remaining vacancy seriously. Because I am currently the most acquainted with the demands of the treasurer office, I respectfully request that this board give credence to my recommendations regarding vacancy. After all, we're not appointing for a 4-year term. The voters will do that in November. We're just filling a 10-month vacancy for the smoothest transition until that time. I truly believe that it would be a mistake to appoint someone unfamiliar with our current processes and expect them to perform well. Even after decades of office experience myself, there was still a learning curve for the peculiarities of local government. And the software that we have is unique to government work. I am a fan of democracy, including free speech, so I'm not trying to discourage any of the candidates from running for any office that they feel qualified for in 2020. I do think that it would defy logic for the short fill vacancy during tax season, when we already have a candidate that has been working with the township for 3 years, so specific to our municipal office, plus another 4 months of specific training as deputy treasurer. The winter property tax season continues through March 2nd, followed by a settlement process with the county. Then we'll have an annual audit, all while simultaneously helping with the budget. So it's a very busy time. Rhonda has been briefed on the entire process, as well as hands-on training, including entry of approximately $500,000 in tax payments already. So I really appreciate it, and it's just I'm looking at it as a 10-year fill, I'm not looking at it 4-year, and I personally don't think the board should look at it that way. That's, pardon me?
You mean 10 months?
Oh, did I, pardon me, 10 months versus 4 years. So I'm calling on this group to think of the best interest of the taxpayers at this time. So we can talk about it more when we get to that on the agenda.
John?
Well, the neighborhood watch course is very, staid right now. We do, communicate by phone, and we also have, patrol go out on occasion. And of course, with our police officer, he just does a tremendous job with these coverages that he does. And you can see by our rate of break-ins, guess how many houses are empty now? And we're not getting any result, you know. First of all, we got the signs up, neighborhood watch, so the signs are there. And there's other communities that have those signs and there's no neighborhood watch. And our, facts for the year are good as far as break-ins and stuff like that is concerned, because when people come to the meeting and they hear what to do, how to do it, and who to contact, that makes them very educated as far as what they should do. I have found now that with all the cyber stuff that's going out there, you better be careful when you're telling somebody on Twitter or Tweeter, I got a word, but anyhow, you have to be sure that somebody else is listening on that too. And because I'm from the 50s, we always told our neighbor that we were gonna go away. We always told people we weren't gonna be there to look out. We didn't have all this bird and things and stuff. But anyhow, that's what you've gotta remember when you're on that computer and you're talking, somebody else is gonna listen too. And then somebody will say, well, I got my neighbor, he's watching the house. Yeah, but he works maybe, and the kids are in school, and maybe Ma's gonna go visit her friends, and a car drives by and sees your house is empty, and there's no car in the driveway next door. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take long. So just be careful of all this electronic stuff. Use your head, use your eyes, and listen. That's it.
We had regular meeting Tuesday, January 14th. Our meeting dates were changed going forward for 2020, and they will now be the second Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. We also elected officers for 2020, and I guess I would say re-elected. Our chair is Leslie Elrod. Our vice chair is Dave Marcelletti. Our secretary is Christy Cave. Work continued on the master plan. We'll still be working on Section 8 future land use. That should be ready in our next meeting. We discussed maps, and we also discussed future land uses on our future land use maps. At this time, we're not going to do an agritourism overlay. There will be a commercial overlay for a portion of County Road 388. We had discussion on the need for this township to enforce the ordinances it already has in place, especially blight, unsafe dwellings, and legal safe sewage disposal. And we did have a discussion on tiny houses in the future. That's something we're going to probably have to address in some way or another. And the new meeting dates are temporarily on the door there, waiting for someone to repost. Yeah, I just put them in for now so that the right day would.
Thank you, appreciate it. It's time to take a 3-minute public comment to the board. If anybody has a 3-minute comment, now's the time. Yes?
Okay, you want me to come up there or just stay where I'm at?
Come on.
Come to the front of the class.
Yes, sir, I'll do it.
Just like karaoke.
Yeah.
No, I know music.
You know how to play dominoes?
Take your butt off your feet.
Okay. It has come to my attention that, you're planning on coming up with a ticket, for the blight people, 10 punches or something?
Poverty.
Poverty. That's not gonna work. And the reason that's not gonna work is because you gotta treat everybody the same. If you wanna do something for the poverty people, lower the price of the tickets. Don't give them a ticket because it's not gonna do no good, no way. Because they're not gonna clean up for $10. If they're gonna clean up, they're gonna clean up. So if you wanna do this, lower the tickets, that way everybody's being treated the same. Because as soon as it's found out, somebody's gonna bitch about it. That's all I've got to say. I just heard about this, so I thought I'd better mention it. Okay? Thank you.
Anybody else have a 3-minute comment? Yes.
I just wanted to piggyback off of what the county commissioner briefly touched on earlier with the ISD's millage proposal that's coming up soon. The ISD will be requesting some funds for special education. It will provide services for our special education needed children here in our own township. And it will also provide some necessary funds directly to our school district. Jeff Mills, the superintendent of the ISD, is willing to walk anyone that wants to through the facilities. So if you are interested in having a better understanding of what's going on at the ISD right now, look up the superintendent of the ISD, Jeff Mills, give him a call, and go walk through the facilities. You'll be quite amazed. I just walked through the facilities a week ago, and it was kind of shocking. So I think it would be a really good idea for everybody, and I just really want to encourage everyone to vote yes on that millage. It's very important to our high-needs kiddos in our community.
That's in Lawrence, right?
Yes.
So are you saying it's shocking because it's in poor repair?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay.
Yes. There is, one of the biggest needs is for an HVAC system in their main school for the highest need children, which the outdated HVAC system is causing problems for their medically fragile children. So it's really a huge problem right now.
Thank you. Yes. Anybody else have a public comment?
Glasses, huh? I'm trying this again. Well, I'm not as old as you, but 50s, you mean 40s?
I thought that too.
All right, this is a response to the fire chief's lie that he wasn't getting his checks in time, and he lied and said he didn't send this email at the last meeting. Here's his email. You want to look at it, anybody? See his name on it. This is why his payrolls were late. The payroll summary read from him, again, stuck in my outbox. An email sent by Dave Johnson to the clerk, again meaning more than this happens more than once, and he blamed it on the clerk. That ain't fair to the clerk at all for his way he's handling things. I want a public apology for his lie that he put against the clerk stating that he never sent this email, when here it is in my hand. JC, I don't see JC here tonight. How come? He's the first one to throw it out there when someone from the board is in here. Why isn't he here? Yeah, no wonder. Well, JC doesn't want to have his contracts for trainees to be, because we're paying probably for, how many of his kids are going through this program now? 1, 2, 3.
We need this kid.
Doesn't he have kids going through the program, being certified for firemen or EMTs?
Dave, do you know anything?
Kyle paid for his own paramedic class. Brett is at school in Ferris, and we're not paying for that. Eric is a tool and die maker. Brett and Kyle went through the fire academy through VOTEC, so we didn't pay for anything for any of his kids.
That's a good thing. Karen, I wasn't gonna say anything, but now I'm done. Now I'm done, since you brought it up about how
Watch
things
your
are
3
done.
minutes.
Well, Karen didn't do nothing but cause anarchy between the supervisor and the clerk, because you wanted to run things and call the shots and run the township the way you saw fit. These offices have guidelines already in place. All they have to do is be followed, but that seems to be impossible for this board to do. And once you leave this office, we don't need you to be an advocate and give the next members bad advice, especially when there is a lot of loose ends that are still left since you started. So, that's all I'm gonna say about that. And it wasn't the clerk who finalizes your retirement, like you wrote on this paper to make her look bad. It's not her job, that you put out for the public to see. Right here. It states, compel the clerk to finalize by pro-retirement contribution and release funds before March 31st, 2020. Not her job. Why would you throw her under the bus? This is the problems. So don't give the people any of your bad advice when you come in to advocate. We appreciate that.
Anybody else? We're gonna move forward. Consent agenda, we have 3 minutes on there. We need to remove the budget minutes from 1/6/20. Those have not been completed yet. We need to remove those from our consent agenda. And the rest of it, I read over and I'm okay with those, or is anybody else?
The last time I saw the November
We can just
minutes,
call that one as well.
did you look through it and see?
I did. I went through, compare. And
Does it have October on it? Nothing in it? Well, I haven't seen it revised.
So let's pull November.
If I do, it'll be on my.
You're right here. So then,
Don't know. I know what I'm doing.
Okay, we're gonna also pull November
I know.
11th, November 19th. So the only one we have to approve tonight is December 17th in our consent agenda. So we're going to pull out November and if we don't have January budget meeting.
Okay.
We're gonna get those corrected for the next meeting. The next meeting will be February 3rd, and we should get those corrected by February 3rd. So with those pulled out, I can make a motion to accept the consent agenda items.
I'll second that.
We have an all in favor, John?
Yes.
Beverly?
yes,
Karen?
yes.
And a yes. Additions to the agenda, we need to add the resignation of the clerk and the FOIA coordinator.
Then six.
That will be 6 under new business.
Could that also be bookkeeper too?
Oh, yes, and the Is there any other items that need to be added to the agenda? Do we have a motion to accept the agenda with the addition?
Make a motion that we accept the addition to the agenda.
Final second?
Second.
All in favor, John?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Any discussion items that, do we make it on here?
I have one other one for discussion. Just mentioning that with personnel changes here, are the hours going to change at all? And.
Ladies, we can't hear you.
Excuse me, we're talking about possible discussion items to add. One would be with personnel changes, is that going to impact the hours of operation that we're currently under? And one of the items that I know Ada has requested, for the commodities, those are always on Thursdays, and that's gonna be a day that's gonna be open right now. So, it'll be important, they actually have a contract with the township for that, just to be able to use the building, so it just needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Okay. Move forward. So, while at that discussion time, do you want to go ahead and discuss that further?
It will probably make more sense to discuss availability for people, filling, the people that are looking to fill those spots. Are they available on the same hours that the treasurer and the clerk were currently using? If not, it's a bigger change.
So.
And we won't know that till.
Right.
We won't know that.
So we know that there's an issue there that we're gonna have to address.
I think on Thursday, what you're looking for is open and close.
Primarily, that's what our commitment is to the commodity.
Yeah.
So move forward.
I think it is, we can always lock the door into the office area,
Sure.
and they can have this.
That's what they usually, yeah.
Right.
Done in the master.
Yep.
Okay, let's move forward. Go on to unfinished business. No call bids, we have two that were received. No, we didn't get to finish it. So the first one was from S&H Dependable Services. One-time commercial plowing on the township is $45.
One-time?
One-time commercial plowing.
What, just the building, or what are we talking here? What are they plowing?
It's very vague, and you might get a description.
It doesn't give a description?
So we had asked that sidewalks would be included,
Yep.
so I don't know.
Yep.
And the second one was from LCP Property Management. The job is a township snow plowing. It says bids to push no less than 3 inches of snow, including scraping the lot and shoveling the sidewalks all around. I provide the salt. And the total is $70.
Okay, now let me. See, it just says commercial plowing, Columbia Township Hall, but it doesn't say what. This one says push no less than 3 inches of snow, includes scraping the lot, shoveling sidewalks all around, and provide salt. That sounds a little better to me.
If I remember from before, it was because
The sidewalk.
Jeff he doesn't want to do the,
No,
he's not,
Jeff.
Keith, he's not going to do
This is,
no.
this is the,
Keith
This is
is
it here.
LCP.
Okay.
this is from Keith.
My personal, I believe LCP would be better suited to us, because we know what they're gonna do.
More discussion, okay? So do we have a motion to accept the LCC then?
I'll make the motion to accept LCP.
I'll second it.
All in favor, John?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Yes. Moving forward. The next item is the adjustment of the resolution for the road commission. Bloomingdale and the road commission had some adjustments to their section of road that's going to be repaired because of, federal grant that they're applying for. So, we need to change our wording a little bit here on our resolution.
Okay, what did we already resolve? I know this, I see it.
So here's the changes, this is what it is to say, this is what we're taking out.
Okay, all right.
So the project limit is from County Road 388, from County Road 388 and County Road 384 intersection north to County Road 390 from the Bloomingdale Township line west of the railroad tracks in Grand Junction. The project will mill a portion of the existing surface and place a double chip and seal following a single course of log seal with the same estimated cost. And they've already got it set in the budget. We just need to amend our resolution to be a little bit more clear on, since the changes were made at Bloomingdale.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
So, I guess I'm not sure. So we're saying that it was going to be 4 inches of new surface, and now it's a fog seal?
Resurface, not new, resurface.
Okay, okay.
So, yeah.
So this is really the way it should have been written to begin
Yeah.
with?
Yeah, this is the way it
and
should have
it's
been written
not-
the first time.
It's not a change, it was just a correction.
Yeah. So what should the motion be?
So I'd like to make the motion to accept the changes on the resolution.
I'll second it.
What number will it be, Linda, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Roll call vote, Linda?
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm trying to write the
Sorry.
time to, who made the motion and who
I make the
seconded it?
motion, John.
I second it.
And let's do a vote here. Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Okay. We'll make those changes. Texting contract.
My only question was, I discussed this with you, the difference between W-2 and 1099. And, W-2 is where we take it out, and then 1099 is where they pay it, basically.
Correct.
No, I didn't see that in our current package.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Correct, it was from last
It was
month,
from
that
last
it had been tabled.
Okay. That was one that was tabled from last month.
I don't recall why we tabled it.
I guess somebody had asked.
The way that we pay, I think, is what.
I think I asked if it fit our budget.
Right.
Did you check that?
Yes. I think it's gonna be more expensive for guys to go with the W-2 because you want the 2% cost of it to increase before the end of the year. And that is not gonna be within our budget. This is going to fit more of our budget,
The 1099.
the 1090.
The 1099, yeah.
So I'd like to make that motion that we accept this contract contractor, set this contract with, Jeff Gasper for the Sexton to do the 1099.
I second.
All in favor, John?
As I look at it, it looks like it'll save us money, yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
And a yes. Motion passes. Moving forward. Last year, we had a committee that went through and looked at all of our vacant land and that we had received back from the county on property taxes. Beverly's been working really hard on this, along with Rhonda and myself. We've been getting us all together on, we've already started our first phase.
Fantastic job, and if you wanna get eyesore.
So, the process is, we're gonna put this out for bid. We're gonna send letters first to the property owners that are next to them to see if they're interested in placing a bid, and then we'll accept those and go forward.
Are we gonna put this out up there?
It is up there.
It is up there.
And we were going to sell them as is.
As is.
And transfer with, quick claim deed,
Yes.
so that we don't have to have an attorney on each
Yeah.
property. And no warranty, no.
Well, you guys did a fantastic, as far as I'm concerned, you guys did a fantastic job on this. I didn't have a headache and a migraine.
A lot of people, I think it's been going on for a while. I think, Gary, did you work on this originally? No. It was the Curtises, they got started on it, and then Kate and Ken, and then, you and I and Rhonda, and
You wouldn't think there'd be that much.
So now we're at our phase one, we're ready to sell some property and put it out for bid.
and some we are gonna sell as together, because we want them to.
And we got it on there that way
Be a
too.
bigger
We got it
lot.
on there, yeah.
And this all went through the attorney, as I recall.
Yeah.
Right?
Shoosh.
He guided us through this and everything.
And then now, and this is, I'm just thinking here, along with everything we've got going on now, all the changes that we're gonna have coming up, I don't wanna be in a big, hurry with this, because I think it's important we don't make any mistakes or something like this.
So boy, if we got this posted, they could,
feel about
Did you
right
have a
do it.
date already in mind?
No. Well, we were thinking the sooner the better, but that was before Ford is gonna be everyone new and transitioning and.
Some of these lots are like a postage stamp.
So I think that there's no reason why we can't maybe get something done.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, at least by, well, to do that, I think we need to go forward with a resolution, to get the resolution.
Well, I feel like, we should do the resolution to sell them, but I don't think that, once we do the resolution, there's nothing saying that this has to be completed in 30 days. I just wanna make sure that with everything going on, that it's not gonna be one more thing and that it, get rushed or something overlooked and.
That is correct.
And then we end up sorry later because we made some kind of mistake.
This resolution does not have a date on it.
Okay.
To say we've got like 30 days to complete it, there's nothing like that. It just gives us permission to go forward to offer these properties up for sale.
Okay, now is that this form that we got here, Linda?
That's it, to have it
Certified?
certified that it was.
Yeah.
So since we don't have a clerk on hand at this point, maybe we should table this till next month to make sure it gets certified properly. So that we can get it.
I don't know that.
So if you guys have it in front of you, let's table this resolution, this month, we get a close on board, so we can get a resolution for the night.
And is that the clerk certifies on it?
Yeah, they certify.
Okay, and then, so let's
So we
say
gotta
take
table it until that
a
time.
month and a half to get a clerk. In the meantime, does the county do any of this for us? Do you know, or did you get back to you at all? Or?
I would like to make a motion to table this until next month, this resolution.
I see no,
You think
we got to, yeah.
Was that a second, John?
Yes.
All in favor, John?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Cindy, yes. Electrical contract. So we've had some issues with our electrical contractor not helping our residents with their requested permits. And upon looking, not been able to locate a signed contract with him.
Can I interrupt just to say, we're talking about inspector, not contractor?
Inspector. Yeah, I asked a couple people myself, and they said, you better be kidding. And this guy here, he's got all kinds of accreditation.
So I did reach out to our Michigan Township Services, which they do other services for us, to see what they use for their electrical inspector.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the information they forwarded to me for you guys for review.
Now, how often does he do that? Once a month, or?
When anybody needs an inspection.
Oh, right.
So the current inspector, has he been with us the whole year? I don't think quite a year.
I don't think so.
But I don't, apparently in that whole time, he has not returned our contract. And apparently he's having, back issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think we would cut some slack for that, other than he didn't notify us, at least I didn't hear, did you hear?
No.
He did not notify you.
And meanwhile, some things under construction were being delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And we only found out about it really after it snowballed, and I think it was about 4 weeks before we found out that that was occurring. So it's kind of forcing us to look outside. We did find a substitute, or Bob Winchester, the current inspector, did find a substitute to finish up some of those.
Mm-hmm.
But do we think we need more than one price or proposal, or just
I think we should go with what we got.
with this one?
Yes.
And that's based on,
Looking at, what I see here, and, the Michigan Township Services is a qualified, I have not had any complaints, or when I asked about it, they all said, oh yeah, we know those people. You know what I'm saying, as far as, I don't know too much about
right,
it.
that company is our zoning administrator
Yeah.
right now.
I didn't know they did all this.
They do mechanical. They offer quite a bit of services.
And I did not check it to see, but at a glance, I think their rates are probably the better rates, as far as what the consumer gets charged.
Yeah.
Rather than the state was the other consideration.
And I think the state.
And the state does charge more, and reportedly, it's a little more time to actually get your inspection from the state. But there have been really good reports about that inspector. He is in our area, at Mark Smith. So that's another, we considered them before we went with Bob Winchester.
And then the state,
The state was the other one we were looking at back
Who's
then. Mark Smith is the state inspector in our area.
I like the fact of the residents getting a lower charge.
And that's what,
And Tasha's been pretty top notch, very professional and responsive. I mean, you know, I feel bad for someone that's having issues, but
right,
when you're running your own business, somebody, you at least get someone to make the phone call for you and say, hey, you know, I'm out of commission, so, instead of just not returning calls and that kind of thing,
right.
I think we need to do something.
But it's safe to say that we don't want to stay with our inspector even if he recovers. I mean, that's.
Well, that's not.
Oh, we didn't get a contract.
We gotta do something.
We've got too many complaints out there. In response conversation. And I think that's important to these people who are trying to get their reconstruction or their repairs or whatever, and they need those inspections and not getting a response.
Right, and they indicated that in that line of work, when you are the contractor, you don't like to make waves with the inspector. So it took a little while for them to contact our office.
So I'm proposing that we go forward with Michigan Township Services.
I will second that.
Any discussion?
Yep, that's a discussion. We've got some too much on the table.
My only comment is, do we need to get yet another price or just go with this?
I don't know, then, here again, we go with time. And looking at his,
I think overall, as far as price, it's a lower fee to the residents. It's not costing us more.
no,
And the idea of getting the service that we're supposed to get.
Is there a contract that goes with this, that we would be obligated for a certain period of time, or?
well, if you don't have one, you need one, and the question is, how fast can you get one, and
We would get a report each month.
On the front, on the cover sheet here, it tells you what they're offering.
Are they still working with Puckett?
This is a quality report, this one. I don't know, it's never the CMT.
Well, because,
That the contractor is Bucket Electric, but it's not.
okay. So who is we don't know who the actual inspector is, or it's from a group?
They do have one contractor, inspector, and they are fairly new. They also have Mr. Winchester and
Lester. Someone Lester.
Okay, there you go. Well, haven't met him.
stick your finger in the socket, no trouble.
If there isn't a long-term obligation, this is probably fine, but if there is.
I mean, this is what, on the cover sheet, it tells you exactly what they're offering.
And that's the same terms that we've had all along, the 90% that they keep, the inspector keeps, and 10% that the township keeps.
But if there's a permit that's already been issued, they would charge the township $50 per inspection. If he didn't complete and needed to be completed, which is something.
Oh, okay. Which, that's not unreasonable, I don't think.
So anybody other that needs an inspection done that hasn't gotten it, they would be willing to do it for a charge of $50.
Well, the price looks reasonable.
So is the motion there?
Motion's there, we're just having discussion. All set for discussion? Yeah, let's move forward, let's do a vote here. John?
Yeah.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Motion passes. Moving forward, our next is to appoint a new treasurer. We had 3 different people apply.
Well, we have extenuating circumstances now that the clerk has been on, and, my own personal feeling is that Rhonda has been trained, taught, and shown for the last 4 months how to do the treasurer's job. And this is not a 4-year situation, it's a 10-month situation. And they will go to vote in November. My own personal feeling is that Rhonda can do the job for the 10 months, and she can also utilize whatever help is available to her. And I know that there is help available to her, but she does a wonderful job as far as taking over when Karen's not there. And we are at a process now where we're going to have villages, and she knows how to do that. We're having elections, and she knows how to do that. And I feel we should give her the trial 10 months to be the treasurer.
Is that a motion?
I make that motion.
Before we make that motion,
I'll second that motion.
before the motion is made, I'd like to hear from the candidates that are here in the audience. Okay. So, we have Mrs. Collins. Rhonda, would you like to come up?
Talking to the mic.
Yes, absolutely.
So, give us a little bit of why you want to do the treasurer position.
Well, I started here 3 years ago as secretary, no, I'm secretary.
Can't hear you.
Is that mic on?
Probably not. I don't think it's been working.
Nope, it ain't on.
Well,
So turn toward them.
she's supposed to be talking to us. She's supposed to be talking to us.
Speak loudly and
So,
carry a stick.
my own goal is to serve the township to the best of my ability, which I've been doing for the last 2 years. And I worked very closely with the assessor and know that system as well as the treasury system.
Do you guys have any other questions for her, or any questions at all?
You've handled I'm sorry, I'm just rereading your letter here. So you've been working with Karen doing cash, entering the cash deposits from, and you're trusted with, do you handle cash at all, with H&R Block?
Yes. And Sleepy Hollow too.
And for them.
Anybody else have any questions for Rhonda?
I did a question for, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to ask about, so how do you handle, well, at Sleepy Hollow and H&R Block, how do you handle, sensitive, it says here sensitive personal information, people's private information?
It's not discussed that between me and the client.
And do they have a process or a place to keep records?
Yes, it's locked, it's in a locked room, locked cabinet.
And have you worked with Karen on that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Keeping the records here? And do you feel like you can take this and run with it for the next?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really quite a few aspects of the job. It's not just the tax entry by any means. But we have had a chance to review it all. She's had some hands-on experience already. And from my standpoint, I did advertise for the opening a full year ago, first off for deputy, and then again in September. So at that point, Rhonda and Ken were the only interested parties. So I moved forward with Rhonda with training back then. So then when things went wrong with my mom and things like that, and it became more pressing, I had to have help. So I've invested my time already with Rhonda. She was here, available, willing, and she's really been a quick study. And I think the trust factor that you brought up is huge. That's something that Mr. Spicer isn't here to discuss, but also we don't know the other party at all. Not saying there's a negative, just it's an unknown for us. So meanwhile, I was in a position where I really had to have some help, and I've already invested time, and she knows how to do it.
I do have one more question, Rhonda, because for, you would then, of course, be a board member, and you would be part of the executive, what they call the executive board. So how do you see yourself as a board member? You know, what do you feel like you'd bring to the board?
Fairness, openness, transparency. I just feel like we need a board that can get along and work together, make decisions.
4 women and a man, huh?
And I know you've had some chance to look through the MTA manual and read up on items, or you're familiar with the statutory duties of the different offices.
And then if, so it's gonna take a lot more time than what you're currently used to doing. Well, I don't know what you've been doing with Karen lately, but you're aware of the amount of hours that
Oh, yeah, just to enter what
Here
comes in takes all day.
and the customer service with people coming in and paying taxes and.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she and I have discussed that, but I'm glad you asked. There could be the mistake of people thinking that we're only here the hours that we're open, and that is not correct. I mean, there's enough workload that it does take quite a bit more than that. And
Especially now with taxes coming in.
she has indicated her willingness to do that. And she knows the warts and all, and still is willing to do it.
Good.
So,
Anybody else? Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
The other candidate was Ken Spicer. He's not here. We all know he tried very hard to get on our board in any way possible. The next one is Mrs. Jean Jin.
Sorry about the mic.
That's okay.
So Jean, why would you want to be on this board?
Well, I feel I'm capable. I have been in
an environment, not necessarily the municipality, of office, setting for 40 years. Managerial, in high levels, bookkeeping of all levels. Very familiar with all Microsoft applications, QuickBooks, various software applications from companies that I work for. I live here in our township, 3 minutes away. I feel that anybody coming into this position should be willing to participate in everything and be open, honest, there's got to be some integrity, and help each other and work together as a team and pull everything together. And I think if everybody could work together as a team, things could go very smooth or much smoother when you're working all together.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do. And I've read your letter and I'm rereading it again. So it says you're treasurer of a retail store, and that kind of threw me because it says you're general manager, bookkeeper, and treasurer of a retail store. So I was wondering how are you treasurer?
Well, because I am the bookkeeper. I am the general manager. This is a new store that opened up in South Haven in April. And it happens to be my son's store.
Oh, nice, nice, good. I hope he does well.
You got the good.
So as the business grows, then people will have to come in and take over some of those positions. But as of now, I will.
So, is it actually called treasurer then? I mean, usually that's not a retail store designation, that's why.
Yes, that's how we have it listed.
Is it an LLC?
Yes.
That's why.
I know what LLC means, but I didn't know that changed things like that.
How long have you lived in the area, or in our township?
3 years.
At the same address you have on here?
Yes.
Are you renting then, or owning?
I own. I purchased.
Okay. That address didn't come up in your name?
I'm on the contract.
Okay.
And you've already answered the board part, I think, without being asked, you kind of went into that. I appreciate that.
As we mentioned, I introduced myself to you because we hadn't ever met. And so that's a little bit of a, just not knowing.
Sure.
So, and the retail business, is this, you didn't mention the name. Is there a reason you didn't mention, or do you mind mentioning
No, I
the
don't
name
mind
of the
at all.
company?
It's for outdoors.
Okay, and that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how many hours can you devote to this position a week?
How many hours do you require?
My concern is you have all these important things that you're doing with the other store. Do you have time for the township? And it's not your fault that I'm even asking this. We've had people tell us before that they can fit it in with their other work and that they're flexible. And then it doesn't always come to pass. That things wind up having to work around that person. So I don't know what you were told about how many hours are required for this job so that you even know if you are available. Did you have some idea when you sent this letter?
I was told it was part-time. It was a part-time position.
And that could be anything from...
Exactly. That's as far as I was told.
I can tell you the first, MPA meeting that I went to as treasurer, they asked us all, so who here works part-time for their township? And I raised my hand, because I was told it was part-time. And it has taken, there's a lot more hours than people think. And they said, well, that was a trick question, because none of you are part-time township. So I'm just letting you know, I mean, it would be a shame for you if you started and then found out it was a lot more time investment than you realized. So
So typically, on an average,
over the whole year average, I would say 24 hours.
a week.
A week. There are some weeks it's 40 hours though, during the busy season, which we are in. And particularly, people like to pay their taxes right at the very last minute. So there's gonna be a ton that comes in all at once. I wouldn't want you to have that be a surprise. You know, it wouldn't be fair to you. So I'm just letting you know that and see is your son gonna suffer, or are you gonna suffer, or just.
I cannot do 40 hours a week because I am full-time there.
And it's not year-round that it's 40 hours a week.
Correct.
But there are weeks like that, is what I'm getting at. And is that even possible with your other job?
No, it is not.
I appreciate
On a
your
part-time,
honesty.
yes. On a full-time, 40-hour when it's busy season, no.
I appreciate that, and I knew you didn't know that.
I did
You
not.
know, and that's not fair to have you get thrown under the bus, because you're not gonna feel good about it either. I mean, that's why I had to get extra help now, because I can't put in the number of hours that are required. So I appreciate you saying so. Your capabilities sound really good, and knowing the QuickBooks would be helpful, but primarily it's the clerk that does the general ledger and most of the checks, so she's the one that would use our Timberline, which is like Peachtree product, whereas the treasurer uses the BS&A tax site and Excel and things like that. So I should have called you to fill you in on this prior, but I just thought you should know.
Okay.
So, to follow up on that, it's typically not a 40-hour job. That's why we have deputies to help us to fulfill some of those hours.
And you've never performed this job in this township. And if you're comparing it to
I am not
Greenville,
comparing it to anything.
the
I go by what
quantity
is
is entirely different.
statutorily, it says out there. I mean, I talked to other townships to find out what normally they do, and it's, you know, it all depends on how organized and how things flow, and some
How
money
they
is,
would do it,
yeah.
which,
I mean, there's a lot of
right now,
factors
it
there,
would be
but that's
zero.
why you statutorily have a deputy as to how they go, those duties. That's why she has a deputy to help her.
And the deputy, I think gets paid, it's $135 a quarter. So there's not much money allocated for your deputies. So unless it's a family member or somebody that really loves you, they probably aren't gonna devote a bunch of time to do that. I mean, that's, whether it's you or somebody else, it's just a reality that you should know going in.
Anybody else have any questions? Anything else?
Mr. Spicer mentioned that the reason he could do the job is because he's retired.
Well, I'm not quite there yet.
Retired.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not expired, so.
Motion on the table?
So we have heard from each of the And just so everybody knows, Karen is not a voting member on this. She has to abstain.
Right.
So it would take all three of us to vote for a person in order for it to go through.
That's not correct. I checked with MTA, as long as there's a majority at the
Majority
table.
at the table.
A quorum, I think.
It's gotta be a
there's
quorum.
Quorum, yeah, there is a quorum.
And it has to be.
There has to be a quorum to take the vote.
Right, in order to make it go through.
And then at the table,
Quorum.
a majority.
The quorum has to have.
Every seat at your table is considered a vote, whether it's full or not. So if you can't vote, and Stacy can't vote, clerk can't vote, then those are considered no votes, but they count in your overall number of votes.
I think you're incorrect for this particular thing, because I did check specifically on this with MTA.
I looked it up in the state legislature, and it says that a quorum for a township is 3. And that
Right.
means that you have to have.
We have 3 here that can vote.
Correct, that means you have to have 3 votes for something.
Well, no, you have a majority of voting members. I asked that question specifically. I don't think it's better to have it unresolved either.
I think we need to get clarification on it because we don't want to.
We could, John, do you have a motion on the table? I seconded it. We can vote. I don't think it's good to have it unresolved either. We're not gonna have a clerk.
And that's number 6.
So the motion's on the floor and it's seconded. Now what? Call for the vote?
John,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Linda, no.
Now the question is, do you have to have a solid 3 or you have to have a majority?
We need to have a solid 3.
Well, that's what you think. You don't want that for certain. I will pull up the actual email from MTA.
Well, the vote's been taken. Now we can go, and if something's wrong with the way we did it, it can be rescinded. I'm with Robert's Rules of Order, I'm a parliamentarian. In a quorum, you have 2 and 1, and 2 vote and 1 votes. The other way, the quorum stands.
Majority is the majority.
I think it's majority. But I'm willing to have it looked at.
I couldn't hear everything. Did you have 3 yes and 1 no? That's a majority.
I can't vote.
Karen
You can't
can't vote. We had 2 yes and 1 no.
2 yes and 1 no.
Why can't Karen vote? I'm just curious.
Because it's replacing me.
Oh, okay.
Because it's replacing you, she can't vote?
Right.
She can't vote for her own replacement.
Right.
I can participate in
Oh,
discussion.
oh,
not-
oh.
She
I
can
see.
discuss, but she can't vote.
I see. Oh, that's right.
Where you going?
I gotta stretch.
So,
Now we gotta,
I will go turn on my email and go get it, because that was asked and answered by somebody that was in before.
well, we're taking the vote pending.
Well, that's true. So let's say, just for the sake of getting through this tonight, because we have other business, let's say it isn't, then where are you?
Say it isn't?
Yeah, let's say that.
No, we have
doesn't count
to,
as
we have to have a
majority.
verification somewhere along the line.
Right,
But we took a vote, and we can rescind the vote if the verification comes out the other way.
I think that should be a way to ask the question. so we should have an answer soon. We can go forward and
Yep.
come back to that.
Yeah. Now we got a PC.
Why don't you try to contact your attorney?
Yeah.
Karen, I believe, is going to get her email from MTA.
A PC attorney, PC means what?
Planning commission.
Who?
Planning commission. Planning commission.
Planning commission, oh, okay. You gotta tell a guy, my age, when PC could be pretty crappy or something like that. Now, do we have any, I didn't see anybody for, I didn't see anybody named for attorney.
I interviewed Catherine as their attorney, and I did speak with Catherine today. And she said she didn't have a problem with it, or something was okay, and she didn't sit on the seat. She said she did not have a problem with considering.
He said when we interviewed him, he'd rather do it all, but.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really, I think.
That's the best
a lot
way.
more expensive.
Yeah, so, but she said she would be willing to consider why.
So do we need a motion?
To,
We already got it.
Now, there's Karen,
Okay. Did you go for verification? Was that what you did? Yeah.
Actually, the two no's, because these two are not classified as no-votes.
I know.
We have that one problem with our board.
Yeah, the only thing that can cover that shed is the bylaws, but nobody can access the bylaws.
I'm not so sure that's true.
Well, where are the bylaws, but
I've never seen them, no one has ever given me bylaws, since I've been on.
Would you like to plow my driveway on the way home?
Anything for you, John, but I'm not leaving right yet.
Okay.
bylaws, you have to have bylaws to govern your body. It is required by law.
Linda, where are yours? You've never been given a set?
It'll be 2 to 3.
I'm not so sure that's true at Township, Christie. I think
It
the
is
board might be
absolutely
different.
100% true. I just looked it up. 100% true.
Don't you just got a guideline out there or something for this?
Pardon me?
Don't you have a guideline?
Bylaws. I've been there and I can't.
Yeah,
We don't have access to the records, they're lost in the clerk's office.
If that person's not.
Somebody's ain't got a cord.
got the key?
That's me.
You better not. Because really the bylaws are the only thing that is specified against the standard. The standard is all three of these vote. If the bylaws say something different, then that could change things.
If we have bylaws, they would probably be whatever is typically adopted, whatever MTA typically puts
If
out.
that's the case, there's a sample of them online that says all three of you need to vote.
From MTA.
It's from,
And you're looking general law, not charter.
I am looking at Michigan legislature recommendation.
Which is the MCO.
The MML work has a set of sample procedures that include that all three of the forum, take the vote. All three. That's from MML.
Are you guys still looking at that, or just move on?
What you got,
No, we
kid?
haven't moved on.
From MTA, is the simple majority of those board members present and voting. For a 5-member board, 3 members is a quorum to hold the board meeting. If only 3 board members are present, 3-0 or 2-1 would be enough.
That's MCA.
MTA.
MTA, but the MMLs outrule that.
And what was the
MCLs
question?
and MMLs outrule it.
It was whether or not there's a split decision. Well, they were too high. That's the way this is gonna be.
I got a Cormier get back to us tonight.
He's
so-
talking to me right now.
Okay. Text.
So we gonna share, or
Should we
just
call it on speaker, or?
Karen, do you have a copy of the bylaws?
You ever heard of this board having bylaws?
No. Does this board have bylaws?
It has to.
It doesn't mean it does.
It could be in that land somewhere.
Yeah. Wow.
Because the bylaw should state this in it.
Yes, I noticed that the planning commission does have bylaws.
Kurt, do you guys have bylaws? I wonder if there's a difference in a commission and a board.
No, they all have to have bylaws. It is required.
Can anybody produce our bylaws?
Dean,
I'm sure there are some bylaws.
have you ever seen any?
I'm sure, I would imagine they exist. They're probably in the clerk's office someplace.
I'm asking, have you, when you were supervisor, did you have bylaws that you knew of?
I followed the MTA directions on state law.
So his answer is no.
Right. So, how
But
long
the
has
question
the
was
township
never
been
raised.
operating without them, then I'm wondering?
Pardon?
I'm wondering how long the township has been operating without bylaws. Linda didn't know we needed them.
We never did
Karen
anything
didn't.
wrong here.
I didn't.
Well,
Yay, maybe everything we've done up until now is totally illegal.
Do we move on, or do we go to sleep, or what
Yeah,
do we
I
do?
thought we were moving on, but I was just excused for a moment.
Our attorney, and he's gonna give me 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I'll
that-
get back.
The attorney's gonna stay the way the attorney is.
Can he talk to us like on speakerphone verbally when he gets the answer?
No. He said he can't talk, he's in his car, but he said he's
Okay.
phone over, he's gonna give 2 minutes to look it up.
Okay.
So, we wanna move forward a little bit, so we get the answer.
Move forward.
Well, speaking of attorneys, that's our next item.
Yeah, attorney.
Consider
The planning commission has asked to keep Catherine as their attorney. I did speak with her today, and she said that she did not have a problem with that. As long as we can, as long as, oh yeah, she didn't step on this. So basically, that's what the board, if we want to.
Now, you know, she's an MTA attorney. Is that really who you want? Yes, I'm being smart, Alex. Sorry about that.
Yes,
But she is.
and that's what every township does, that's why there is an MTA.
To help everybody that does not know all these things inside out.
Well, I make a motion that we allow the planning commission to retain Catherine, to continue using Catherine's services when it comes to planning commission business.
I'll second that.
And that request came from
The planning
the
commission.
planning
Yeah, I know
commission.
Catherine, yeah.
Move forward to the vote. John?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Linda, yes.
Well.
Like an old lady ate to say, never mind.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Automated doors for opening the front door to be ADA compliant.
Yep.
We did meet with the company. You guys all have a copy of what it said.
No, it says Low energy operator, and that's me, I got low energy, or they're talking about something else.
He also provided, a drawing and a picture of what the door would look like.
Yep.
This would actually have a cord coming down to the plug-in until we could get an electrician to come in and connect it to the electrical.
Now, we've been looking at this for a year. It's time to shut the door.
And he also decided for us all these other townships in which he has involved with the neighbors.
Did he come out and look, he did, he looked at the doors?
Yeah.
And Rhonda made the call to make this happen after a year.
After a year, yeah.
And I had given the name of the company from working with them in construction. And they did good work, they were often used on lots.
Well, yeah, they got a lot of,
So it looks like for material and installation, it's $1,848. And we do need to be ADA compliant.
now, when it's installed, where are we at? Do we need additional, or what, you know what I'm saying, when it,
Because once you are existing.
yeah, I know, but when I'm talking about electric, I'm talking,
So for now, if we can get an electrician in here, it will have a cord coming off the side.
We can't get electrical permits.
Yeah.
And we need to get an electrician in here, and that seems to be a problem with us.
we know what we're doing, though.
Linda, I have a question here. It looks like, one of the doors won't be automatic. Well, the one that is automatic, will that be enough to get a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Is it wide enough? Okay,
Yeah, it's
good.
wide enough to get, yeah.
32 inches wide, and you can measure that, and it's
Definitely something we need to do.
Yeah, so this came up at prior elections. There was somebody that complained, about our accommodations. And I think we're probably grandfathered in that we didn't have to do this.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
So I'm certainly in favor of.
And I feel like there's not a boatload of companies out there doing this work.
No.
So I'm going to make a motion that we accept it and go forward with it.
I'll second it.
Mr. Money, Mr. roll call, John,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
and a yes. Schedule that. And that did meet our, budget from last year, that we did budget for that last year.
Yeah, it only took a year.
Okay. Next item is the resignation of the clerk. The letter that I received, that we all received. Columbia Township Board, due to the many internal, external issues that the Columbia Township is experiencing and personal reasons, I will be resigning from the Columbia Township Clerk bookkeeping 40 coordinator position effective 1/21/2020. If the township would like to retain my assistance until the new clerk is appointed and trained, I would be glad to assist the township throughout the transition.
I like that last sentence.
The rate for training and services provided by Stacy Clerk to the Columbia Township would be $65 per hour, $32.50 per half hour, $16.25 quarter hour. Minimum charge is $16.25 or $5. And her deputy also resigned at the same time.
The deputy also resigned at the same time.
Yes.
We don't have a letter from the deputy, we
Yes,
don't need one.
Yes,
We do have one.
Oh, we do one.
This is right there, comes back page.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I suppose the different duties don't necessarily always have to stay together, the clerk, the bookkeeping, and the FOIA coordinator?
So the only statutory duty that she has is the clerk. The other two are appointed by the board to handle.
Well, I, myself, on FOIA, I would recommend the supervisor. You got your hands right where they need to be.
So before we do any of this, deciding on who needs to do what, let's, May I make a motion that we go ahead and accept her resignation as what she wishes to be?
Yes. That's number one.
Did somebody second?
Wait for a second. Do you have a second?
I thought I made the motion.
I made the second. John made the second.
So you made the motion?
See, I'm seconding.
So Linda made the motion to accept, and John seconded.
Do you roll call, John?
Yes.
What about discussion?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So my only hesitation is if someone wants, someone wants to be afraid of something, I'm certainly gonna respect that, go along with it. But is there any reason at all that we, as a township, can't be clerkless for a period of time?
Well, yeah, we have to advertise.
No, I'm saying, is there any kind of problem with us not having a period of time where there is no clerk?
Yeah.
Is
I think
there
we
a legal
actually have
reason
30
to-
days.
We have the same amount of time to fill the position as we do for the
Okay.
treasurer's.
Karen's leaving, so we'll
That's
put her
what I
on
wanted
there.
to know. Okay, I think the answer is yes. Okay.
Yeah, she's leaving, we'll put her in there.
No, going from the, what is it, the fire into the,
Frying pan
frying
into the
pan into
fire.
the fire, no, thank you.
Come on, that's easy.
I don't think it is. I would argue that really is the most difficult,
I do.
because it has the whole general ledger part.
You betcha.
That's the highest level accounting is in the clerk's job.
Everybody was up there, doing what they were doing.
And now the payroll part arguably could be a separate payroll clerk.
Well, we gotta have
And the
one.
FOIA coordinator can be a separate.
And we may want to look at, going forward, we may eventually want to look at getting prices on, seeing about having our payroll out of the house. That may be
Especially fire
better
department.
use of money. Well, it might be better for everyone, and
That could
all
be,
votes might rise, who knows?
maybe so.
So on the efficient, we can look at our budget and see where we need to adjust to make everything happen.
Something to talk about for sure, to at least discuss.
So what are we doing with payroll?
Nothing,
Bring
we're
her on
just
the door.
discussing.
So the most immediate thing that I'm aware of, in the next 2 days,
Yeah.
we were going to work on the clerk with our CPA to do W-2s.
Ah. That sounds good.
Does anybody care about those?
Your government does.
So,
How much time is that normally, how much time
and
do they
it's
normally
normally
put in?
the entire day. Or you might not know, but that's usually the case. The CPA is normally here the whole day, working with the clerk, going through all the payroll, any discrepancies, getting it all worked out, and doing all the W-2s.
Yeah, when do W-2s have to be mailed out?
We need the 31st.
Yeah, I think so too.
So there's not a lot of time, there is an appointment scheduled with the CPA for this Thursday.
Okay, so we need to have a special meeting
To do what?
We're at a meeting, why are we not, why would we do that at a special meeting besides
This
Thursday?
to appoint somebody for the whole position?
Oh,
Is that what we're doing?
Oh,
no.
to the plan commission?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the payroll.
No.
Okay. So meanwhile, though, I think it's safe to say, maybe her husband will chime in, I think it's safe to say, since she resigned, she's not going to come in and help unless we agree to these rates.
Yeah.
So if you invite her in, you need to know that you're gonna get a bill.
So this is what I'd like to propose, is that, first of all, we still have a motion on the floor, then first to accept the resignation.
Should we vote on that?
And then you can vote on that.
And that's what we're gonna do right now.
So as long as you're done with discussion,
Yeah, I don't, if she were here, we could ask her if she would consider an extension of even a few days or a couple of weeks, but she's not here to ask. And I guess we got shaken of head anyway, so I think she's made it clear that she will only come back for
When she's ready.
the hourly pay.
Yeah.
So we might as well.
Okay. So let's do a roll call vote to accept. Dawn,
What are we doing now?
accepting her resignation.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Beverly,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Okay.
now then I would like to make a motion that we accept her rate until we can have somebody in place.
Except for what?
Her rate.
Or her rate? Okay.
Better wait.
I think if we're at that price, I think we need to set like a limit or what,
Or who's going to
what
decide
duties
when
it's
she
going to
comes
be,
in?
So on the usage of, well, I know there's some litigation issues that she needs to finish up, so we agree to pay for that. Time that she needs to finish up the litigation with the attorney.
This could be expensive.
yeah, I don't know about that right now. I want to think about that one.
There's other people who are in for this range there's one form that needs to be submitted. Because it is against Russia.
The litigation and W-2s come to mind, but that may not be the only thing.
So there's a full day coming up for sure, the audit, the CPA thing. And they'll be doing the W-2.
Yeah, that's not the audit, the audit is another separate.
And that's later, right? I don't-
So,
Not
we're looking at replacing
Well, and that's what you meant by a special meeting.
Yes. So, I just want to make sure that.
Could it be as soon as the budget meeting that we already had scheduled? And then how do we get the advertisements out and the letters of interest?
So, we will put it in the paper right away.
Yeah, right away, we got till Thursday.
Timetable.
And then it'll go out on Thursday.
Yeah, if you get it in by Thursday.
If you get it in tomorrow, it'll be done.
So who's going to do that? I assume that's you.
You want the reminder or you want who?
I can do both.
I think it's best too. Really, you really got a new woman now, I don't know what's going on with that paper.
And then the budget meeting will be, there will only be 3 of us there.
I plan on it. Good luck. I know it's gonna be crazy.
So I would like to go ahead and accept the rate for those two, for that item, I believe. The W-2s, we may end up having to do a special meeting before the 3rd. The 3 of us would have to do a special meeting.
Now, what are you talking about?
Having a special meeting.
But why are you, I'm confused a little bit. Why are you saying you have to have, are you assuming that this meeting this Thursday will take care of the W-2s?
I don't know. Are we doing the vacation?
Well, we have an additional person involved. We have the CPA. So, not that, I can assure you they charge higher than this.
Yeah, okay.
But-
Let's just go forward.
And well, there's CPA.
Right. But I mean,
I would say for, the W-2 work, doesn't it normally take a day?
Shouldn't even take that long.
Yeah, but I think we need a
Well-
CPA to do it.
There can be oversimplification. And I've been here when it's been an all day.
So up to, not to exceed how many hours, something like that?
How many deputies does she normally do?
Let's put it this way, everything's not ready to go. Help is needed, that's why help is coming in.
So do you wanna do a not to exceed?
What do you guys think?
I don't know that you have to do it not to exceed. I would say, if you've identified these certain things, and you don't know for sure how many hours those are gonna take, and don't you think there's bound to be at least one surprise besides that?
Yeah.
W-2s and, meet with the attorney?
And whoever takes that spot would benefit from some help. I mean, you can be a self-starter and still need some assistance to get going. Or at least a job that...
Darn, Karen, you missed the boat.
Oh, I was just gonna say, hey, I might decide that I'm gonna charge for extra time here.
I volunteered already.
We have a motion to accept her rate for W-2s in the attorney meeting.
I think we need to do that. I think the not to exceed was my question. I just
I just
feel
don't
like
wanna,
unless...
like, rack up a bill with $1,000.
Right, I don't.
No, so maybe if you make it generous and still selective for what items you get help on. The other thing that's gonna happen, and maybe you're going to assign yourself FOIA coordinator right away, is you can't let that be vacant. You've got the 5 days turnaround. Nobody else wants that one.
So there's a motion on the table to accept the rate for the W-2s and the attorney. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
I feel like we don't have a lot of choice, though.
No, you don't.
So, John?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Moving on.
Moving on. FOIA coordinator, we're gonna have to appoint somebody, even if it's temporarily.
Make a motion, yep, go ahead. I make a motion, we appoint a supervisor, FOIA coordinator. Temple, right. How's that?
And
So when you're saying temporary, is that the assumption then that when we get a permanent clerk, that the clerk becomes FOIA?
Not necessarily, not necessarily. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
So right now, until the things are kind of filled out, we're gonna take that responsibility.
Okay. I don't want to say anything that's gonna sound like I'm being a jerk, but I have heard, so it's only a rumor, from Breesville, that you as clerk have not been responding to FOIA. And I don't know any more than that. I've only heard that. Well, okay.
Well, you ain't in Bridgeville, you're here,
That's
and
right.
you're gonna respond.
We'll hold you responsible, Chuck.
So do we have a second to John's motion?
so with the FOIA stuff, you'll be able to do this, kind of. You'll be able to monitor your email at home while you're working, right? Because you're on a computer anyway.
What about bringing somebody new in? We've got 2 people sitting here that I think are interested in spots. What about starting with FOIA?
That is, I don't know if you can appoint that outside of the board because of the.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Well,
can hire
Be
it.
anybody.
You can hire it out, yeah.
I'd be interested.
Anybody on the board?
Actually, I think that's an excellent idea. Because that's.
Thank you.
Well, no, I'm talking about,
Oh, what they're talking about?
right, as far as having someone, not that I don't think Linda would be able to watch it, but she's got a lot to do with supervisor. And then if we have a separate FOIA coordinator, that's all she's focusing on, and then you can take away any appearance of impropriety.
That's temporarily until we can get a.
Yeah,
I mean, because I know there's social.
Well, that's what I'm saying, temporarily we'll appoint, I'd be interested in trying Christie out.
She's on other commissions and she's done great.
And I'm just gonna throw it out there because I know there's a cost factor involved. Earlier Karen mentioned that it's possible that table can go to someone else. I could help with that too as well. So if you guys want to appoint someone to help with table, I would be willing to do that.
Halfway there.
Yes, my letter of interest will be coming later too.
Well, and that's what I did gather that. I don't know how that goes then with the planning commission, or even also.
I am. I think I would, that's the discussion Bev and I will actually need to have, so we can talk about that later. But obviously I would have to go through the process of getting appointed before that meeting.
Sure, but these little subsets,
Yep.
maybe not. I mean,
Correct.
maybe.
Yeah, those shouldn't have any impact on the others, I would say. The only possibility is, well, there's a dual sign process, I'm assuming, for paychecks, so planning commission paycheck shouldn't be a problem then.
Okay. Just watch when we're in the box.
What about your time constraints? I have no idea.
I work for myself, so I'm really flexible.
So you also can respond immediately to a FOIA thing right away?
Absolutely.
And she would know how to make this go to her right away.
Yes, I believe we have to talk with the other commissions about email and whatnot, but yes, absolutely.
And you're very familiar with a lot, well, like, do you have the FOIA things that impact you at school board and things like that?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with
Yeah.
FOIA laws. I've been working in various capacities that have been impacted by FOIA since I was 19. So, I worked in the prosecuting attorney's office where FOIA requests came in all the time, the clerk's office. I worked in a lot of places where FOIA has been impacted.
Okay.
John, are you hearing this?
I'm hearing it.
He's worked in the prosecuting attorney's
She's like
office.
built for
Pay
this.
attention, John.
Oh, well, we're jumping ahead, but what is your accounting background?
I have some accounting background. I own my own business, so I have to do my own accounting. I have helped other small businesses with accounting. So I have some accounting background.
So like general ledger and things like that?
Oh, yeah, I do general ledger stuff all the time.
What's going on? Number one. Picking up your toes.
Is Karen's resignation effective midnight tonight?
No.
Oh,
Nope, I'm working Thursday
I see.
and
I thought maybe you were gonna hold the meeting until midnight and then the vote could be changed.
I gotta be home by 10, so you figure that one out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's
so-
move forward here.
Yeah, let's move forward. What do we do?
So, we need to make the decision on the FOIA coordinator and the bookkeeping before we move tonight.
Are we?
Well, what do you think, Linda?
I know that there's a couple of FOIA issues that I'm working with the attorney on right now. So, I would have to take time to work with her and get her up to speed with
I
what's
think
going
that's a
on.
good idea.
So, yeah, she could be the coordinator and giving you what you need.
My only concern is access to them.
Right, that's a concern, no matter who does it.
Yeah, so that'll be
That's
taken care
gotta
of
be,
as well.
Yeah.
We'll get that taken care of.
Linda, make the motion.
John, you already.
Somebody make the motion.
You already have a motion on the table, so we.
On the table for what?
We had a motion on the table to appoint the supervisor as a FOIA coordinator.
Okay, then I'll withdraw the motion.
One last question on the outside FOIA coordinator with, it's an unusual circumstances where there's no clerk to, work with that FOIA coordinator on the record. So, how will that be addressed legally? What happens now, with the clerk's office?
It
Because
stays vacant.
if we've accepted her resignation and it's effective right today, midnight tonight,
21st, I think she said.
then that office is vacant.
It takes effect
It's
as
vacant.
soon as they accept her resignation.
Okay. Then there shouldn't be a problem with that legally.
Okay, so, do we have
I
a
don't
whole,
know.
We have 30 days to.
I've got a big
30
brochure
or
you can
45.
read if you want.
45 or 30.
So we can go ahead and go forward, on taking care of the FOIA coordinator, do you have a motion to? John,
Yeah.
Chris, or-
Which one of you made one?
I'll make it, or John, doesn't matter.
No, you make it.
I'll make a motion to have Christy King temporarily be a FOIA coordinator until such time as we have a replacement or a clerk in place, or we decide to, keep it separate, however it goes.
Now second it?
It's not a good, very clean worded motion, is it?
No, yeah, we know what you're talking
No,
about.
some clerk's gonna have to type this up.
She's got to write it, so.
My notes aren't gonna be that good, I'll tell you right now, but it's
Don't make
recorded.
it 6 paragraphs, she got to write it.
Just make the motion to have Christy Case be the temporary FOIA coordinator.
There you
John
go.
did a second.
Yes.
Roll call vote, John,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Karen,
Yeah.
and
All right. Moving on.
moving on. Okay, bookkeeping, we need somebody to handle any bookkeeping that comes in before.
I think we're done.
Well, and
I
that,
think that we can,
that particular job has always been undefined of what that really means. I
What?
remember when we first, Dean and I, on our first budget, all it said was bookkeeping. And we thought, wait a minute, if you're already the clerk, you're already doing, that's part of your duties. And then it was kind of distinguished as being payroll. I don't know if you remember that. That was our first budget that we talked about that. Because payroll is not a statutory duty of the clerk. It can be assigned, but it doesn't have to be.
so,
So if, should we call it bookkeeping or payroll or slash or something, or? You're getting tired too, aren't you?
bookkeeping, let's,
Well, I see we're coming to public comments and they ain't gonna have any, so let's go on.
So are you questioning whether or not Stacy should be here for the W-2s?
yeah.
What if we had both people here, because there's almost certainly going to be some information from the past year that the new person would need to know. And what are your rates?
Good question. Again, when are they coming in for the?
They were planning to be here Thursday. Yes.
Good.
So that means
Will they just have to be in the mail by the 31st?
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just in the mail.
They gotta be in the mail by the 31st.
Does Jean do W-2 also? Do that?
You're not doing nothing, Dean, you wanna help us out?
I didn't hear, maybe. That's not the fun part of accounting, I don't think, payroll.
Okay, so what does people want to do?
I think Stacy should be here for the W-2s, whether we additionally have somebody, but I can almost bet there's going to be records that need to be pulled in order to finalize the W-2s, and she's gonna know where it is.
Yeah.
And somebody else will,
People have their own systems.
whether it's on paper or
I
the
just
computer.
think, okay.
I do like the idea of having someone, if we do have someone to do bookkeeping, have them there also. Overlap, I think it's worth it for them to get in the know too, because there's gotta be things that are, you can only know if you're been in there doing it.
And if
And when is the next pay cycle?
Friday. Is it Friday?
No.
Checks this
The
Next Friday.
for the fire department, otherwise, all the rest of the checks are for
Fire department.
It's good following,
well, they're used.
which is the
Yeah,
31st.
we're used to it.
Which is the 31st.
Not get used to it.
You're still here?
Yeah, oh yeah. I took a nap, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
Which is the 31st.
Which is before your special meeting on the 3rd. That was my point.
Really long as it is.
Got 25
I
minutes
would
before I gotta
have
get out of
helped
here.
if I was still gonna be here, but, and I will be here on Thursday.
Good.
But it wasn't gonna be for W-2.
Okay, babe.
Okay, so, we'll plan for Stacy to be here if she will, to do the W-2s for the home.
Now, is this a motion, is this a?
We already did that
Okay,
motion, we already did it, we're just doing.
all right. So
So
we
at
don't need
this
a
point,
motion.
I do believe we're all done with that.
Are we going to move that someone other than Stacy participate in the W-2s with CPA? Or not?
Someone do payroll. Because that would include W-2 and the next pay cycle before you appoint them. I'm just throwing that out there.
And it is temporary because right
You're
now.
throwing everything out there.
Right now, even though you're gonna send a letter of interest, we don't know who all else will and who the eventual candidate will be, but.
Now, what is the ad gonna read? Is it gonna read letter of intent or,
Letter of intent.
or just letter of intent and then,
Really the-
The letter of intent.
yeah. Okay.
And who does it go to? It won't go to the clerk yet.
I have to go.
Darn, you have to rely on me for something, don't you? I'm sorry, I had to get that date in there, because you guys have been digging at me all night. So, I'm sorry.
Like, feel that we are, nobody did.
Moving on,
So, let's move forward.
public comment. They ain't got none, so let's
Did we
be
vote
going.
on this or not?
Hold on.
Or are we going to? On bookkeeping payroll? Do we want, or I guess as a citizen, you could show up.
I don't know that I would have the right to that information.
No.
There, yes,
We would
on
have
that,
to-
there are private.
We would have to wait until we appointed, I mean, it would just be behind.
Well, payroll has to be done.
And it will have to be done, but it would have to wait till we appoint somebody. Because she's gonna be gone, Stacy's gone, unless we get Stacy in to do that.
Got a whole month to do it.
Unless we hold a special meeting to appoint the clerk on Friday the 31st.
Well,
And that doesn't
this
just-
board was really firm on giving time for advertising and
Yeah.
letters of interest, so
Exactly.
probably shouldn't switch the rules in the middle.
Exactly. Well, that's why we went with 7/1/3. It gives us a week to,
A little time.
a little time.
But for tonight, what we can do, and we're here now, is we could temporarily ask for payroll apprentice. We can make up a new job. Seriously, why couldn't we? For the sake of
bookkeeping service, or payroll services.
right, in the interest of passing this information
We
on.
can hire somebody to do the payroll. That's what we can do. So if you guys are wanting to hire Ms. Case to do the payroll for that week, that will be fine.
See, that's not, it's
Just
not
get a
running
payroll
payroll. It is running W-2s. It is a part of the payroll, the whole global payroll process, but it's, she's not running payroll. She's only assisting with W-2s, unless, I feel like we're not talking about the same thing. We're not on the same page.
Well, I hope we're on the last page.
Right, but we have more time for that. The W-2s are the immediate.
And I thought we already agreed that Stacy would be coming back in to finish the W-2s.
We did.
We did. And the discussion was, if we're gonna hire someone to be doing payroll, should she be a part of the W-2 thing so that she could start getting some information from Stacy that might help her to do the
Or
payroll going forward?
any carryover information that would be helpful.
Is that, or am I getting it confused? I'm tired too.
I think we're making this harder than it needs to be.
Well, then make it easy, what are we doing?
So, we're bringing Stacy in to do the W-2s.
Okay, yes, that's this Thursday, and we have a special meeting,
On February 3rd.
February 3rd.
Right.
And the next pay period ends,
The 31st.
and if the pay period ends on the 31st, when do they normally get their check?
On the 31st.
So, can we decide, are we going to have Stacy do those paychecks?
I didn't hear that. Right. Okay, so we're gonna ask her to run. Plus, I believe we have some corrections for the medical call report.
I think we need to let her finish that out. I think that's the right thing to do, let her finish that out.
Okay, I feel clearer now of what we're doing. One, final payroll for fire department, and EMT, EMS, all of the above, and W-2s.
So, are we all clear?
So we moved on to W-2s. Do we need to move on to other, or just include that in there? Or just,
We're already included.
Right, if we're assuming that Stacy's gonna do it herself, then we already accepted that in the prior one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So,
All right.
but then there's not the carryover.
Anything else? Public comment?
Ain't got none.
Oh,
Yep.
there's bound to be.
On this Columbia Township Board meeting, it states that DNR lake accesses will be included on maps, but not undeveloped, unusable township lake access. What is unusable lake accesses that are there and mapped already?
Well, for one, they're not mapped.
They are mapped.
What I'm talking about, no, that according to the county, they aren't mapped. And if it's a 4-foot section of land in between two people's houses, that's not usable. We don't have it developed. What are we gonna be able to put there? You can't get a car there.
It doesn't mean it's not usable. That's
It
not
doesn't
the
mean that you
definition
can't
of
walk on it
usable.
and go fishing, but we're
Right.
not gonna put that on, we have decided it's not going on our map.
Well, then you're telling the people that they don't have right to it.
No, that's not what we're saying.
They're
We're not gonna.
We're already on maps.
No,
That the township, not the township, but the road commission has overlays that you can get from their computer.
No, they
And
don't.
it shows them. Yes,
They
they
don't
do.
have them, no.
Yes, they do. I was at the meeting, you were at the meeting.
Is there any other comments?
I have 3 minutes, don't I? I've only been a minute. And it does have, they were she was at the meeting, He gave me the code to the thing and everything to get the overlays for all the property that's owned by the township and by the road commission. And every lake in this state has an access that's public. And that comes from the DEQ and the road commission and the trade commission. And these pieces of parcels of property should be open and accessible for the public to use. And you're telling them no. That you're not gonna put these on the map for the people to see, for the public to use. That's wrong.
Any other comments, Mr. Clerk?
Yeah, I still think that the fire department should have contracts from what we've put them through schooling and certification, that they should have to give us time in at least a year to 2 years before they get paid. Or we pay for their schooling. So they don't leave here and go for a higher paid job that we paid for, instead of running a certification classes, a school out of this place. Out of our pocket.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm Dan, I live over the tracks. I think you were actually on my thing to get my barn put up. I am finally about to get my final inspection from your old inspector. He has one breaker to look at. I've already buried everything else. He's just gotta come back. I'm hoping if you're not using them anymore, his word still stands when he finally shows up and passes my electric, so I can be done with his barn now. So, because that's the only thing lingering from getting a green sticker. If you bring in somebody else, they're gonna want me to dig all that wire back. I don't wanna do any of that. I just want him to okay the only thing that did not pass. It was not a GFI breaker on light, so when he sees a GFI breaker, everything else is good. So, I'm hoping that doesn't conflict with you guys changing inspector, so I hope. Plus, my check's already cashed, so I think I'm good as far as payment and all that too, so, all right, thank you.
Anybody else?
Just one question that seems to have gotten lost in the dump, about our ramp for a cement ramp for the dump. I know Butch was gonna check into that and find out about a contractor so that you can get the garbage into the bin when you're...
So, to answer your question, I know he has asked several people to come out and do it, and he has not been able to find a contractor. Everybody's busy right now.
Yeah. Okay,
It's not forgotten.
all right.
You can
Bring
find
it up.
someone willing.
I did forget one other thing. This is like a crazy soap opera, and I gotta know the ending. What happened with the attorney? Do we have a temporary treasurer or not?
Yeah.
Board comment, or you?
Yeah.
Just a comment to the board, since you've got, some more budget meetings coming up, might be a good idea to look at splitting off the, bookkeeping fee from the clerk's, amount there along with the, board coordinator. That would clean up the books a little bit, be a little bit easier to handle, and, probably would be easier for the next treasurer to keep track of things.
Okay.
Not a paper trail.
So based on a very quick bar research, simply in the simple majority, 2 members in favor will carry.
Down to board comment?
That means Ron is there now.
Welcome.
You dodged the bullet.
Or step improvement.
I got board comment.
For you.
We accepted the resignation of our clerk tonight, and I think it's fitting and proper that we give a letter of appreciation to her for the years of service that she's given this township. So I'm asking that the board consider a letter of appreciation to Stacy Court for her work in this township.
Anybody else with a comment?
It's our board comment.
Voters?
Right.
No, he ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to say tonight.
Good!
Karen? Well, you know what I'd like to say.
Well, since this is my last time.
You're done too,
And it's my
Karen.
time.
We're going home, we're getting our check.
Back as a candidate in 2016, my stated goals were simply to utilize best accounting practices, minimize errors, try to improve communications between those of differing viewpoints, and objective decision-making in the best interest of our community. We have different leadership styles, and one thing I guess I wanted to do is say a couple positives about board members. Just real quick though, John, something I've noticed, I salute you as a patriot, dedicated veteran.
Thank you.
I had one for Stacy, which I'm still going to read. She consistently defended against government waste. She does protect the township records, and her knowledge of local history has often been helpful. Linda, I know you've been spending a lot of extra time going to county road commission meetings, and I was really proud of you when you delegated that local road plan to some talented volunteers, and we came up with a really nice plan, because that took a lot of extra time, and it needed extra people. And Beverly, you have a pure heart, you advocate for the needy, you inform yourself on both sides of issues, and you maintain your integrity, and you reject BS. I'm a fan. Anyway, I wanted to at least finish on a positive note, because we all know it isn't always positive. So, I appreciate the opportunity to serve the community, and, I don't know how to say.
We do a letter, we gave you a letter already, right?
A little plaque,
Yeah,
a little plaque.
and it was heartfelt. I guess I should have made it.
So my final comment is, Mr. Court, thank you for recognizing that, sitting against Stacy and I, other board members, and thank you for recognizing that was happening. And I'm really sorry to see that she has stepped out. I mean, I thought we could have at least tried to make things better. And Karen, I hope that you can find what your true calling is to be, going and helping your son with his church, and hoping that things go well for you. And I hope that we can still have some good communication with him at some point. Thank you guys all for everything that you've done tonight, and gone forward and tried to get push things through and get it going and make some decisions, and for all your efforts.
Can I take my comment? I'll make it brief. I just want to say that when board members don't agree, or I would like to say that what I did notice about Karen in the job was sometimes it would get almost annoying, because Karen would bring up something that you forgot, not you, Linda, you, all of us, that one of us may have forgot, or that needed to be addressed that we weren't thinking about, so it always created more work. But I never felt like it was in a spirit that was trying to do anything underhanded, trying to undermine anyone, that it was in the interest of what she was supposed to be doing, what we're all supposed to be doing. And I just want that thought out there.
So we have a motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
Second that.
And I forgot to mention, John's great at seconding motions.
We have